If you are looking for the easiest way to learn how to sell effectively, confidently, without freaking out, or without feeling like you want to procrastinate every time and it's the last thing you want to do, I have a simple thing that you can do. And it might seem maybe trivial, but I promise when you look at some of the most successful people, they've often had a step where they've done something quite similar that I would encourage you to try as well. My name is Marc Campbell. I wrote the book Selling with Love, and I'm excited to share how you can easily learn how to get better at sales by applying this little trick. And I just want to make sure I'm speaking to the right person, because if you're listening to this podcast or watching this on YouTube and you're somebody who's an entrepreneur, or perhaps you're a creative, you have a craft, you have something you want to bring to the world. Perhaps you're very focused on the impact. You feel like sales is something that, if I could only get someone else to take care of the sales part, then I could focus on doing what I do great. And I do want to say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but at some point we have a constraint, and that is cash flow. That is the money that we need to be able to thrive and have the best tools and to be able to deliver the best service with the access to money that we have now. So if you're maybe at the early stages of your business and you're trying to find a way to fund, a way to expand your team, upgrade the service, be able to reach more people, we're going to need to have sales come in now. And unless we have a patron that's financing our entire development, or we have investors that have funded our initial stages of our enterprise, sales is a pretty essential thing you need right from the start of a business, because of course, if no sales are coming in, we have no revenue. And if we have no revenue, then we don't have much of a business, but we do have an idea or a hobby, an expensive hobby if it's not allowing you to generate income as well. So we look at options. And if you tried to say, if someone would just come over and take care of the sales part, I could focus on my craft. Well, you still have a sale that needs to be made, which is selling a person that is good at sales on why they should put their time in selling what you have. And you need to have a craft that's very well developed. And most salespeople want to jump into a system where leads are already coming in, and that they can go in and just call people or directly contact people and close those sales without having to go and find the business. And that's a big part of what usually needs to happen at the beginning of a business cycle. So this simple tip, I know it's probably going to sound trivial, but I have to share a few stories. For one, I walked into the office, and I used to work at a company called Mind Valley. For those who aren't familiar, this is a personal growth development company. And the founder there, you would go on stage and he would share a story. His name is Vishen Lakhiani, and he would share this story on how he worked for a legal tech company. And what this company did, it would go out and it would start calling all lawyers and sell them software to help them be more effective at practicing law. And this man, Vishen, would share the story on how he was able to optimize, get confident, and repeatedly become a leader in sales by working for this legal tech company and getting practice, going out there and making calls and going and making sales. And lo and behold, is now the man behind a company that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, where it brings personal growth education to the hands of people. And guess what? They actively sell their products and services quite successfully. So that's clue number one. Let's go to clue number two. While I'm in this office, I meet an incredible gentleman, a past guest of this podcast as well, Carl Harvey. Now, Carl does a lot of products around visualizations, abundance, and he's a copywriter, an amazing copywriter when it comes to writing sales pages, emails, and communicating in an effective way to make people understand the difference that happen in their lives when they take action, when they purchase, and when they go through the products. And lo and behold, he also shares me a story of his time before he was there, where he was working in Australia, contacting mining companies to attend conferences that would support them getting more business development, and being more successful in their industry as engineers. And he would be talking to them on the phone and getting them to purchase these tickets. Which brings me to a story I'd love to share about myself. In my early 20s, when I was trying to figure out what I should do graduating university in business, I got an opportunity to go work in a real estate company. But they didn't want me to become an agent. They wanted me to work on the telephone. And they said, Jason, we just want you to handle all these leads that are coming in. And I want you to call them back and book appointments with realtors, whether they're looking to buy or sell first. Follow the script. Here's hundreds of leads. Contact them and make things happen. And this is the little trick and the little tip that I would suggest for anybody with a fear of sales. If you would ask me to go on stage and to sing a song, my first reaction would be, I'm not a singer. I don't know how to sing. But I bet if I spoke to enough people that do singing training, they would tell me that the only thing I need to do is maybe practice a little more. And if I would be confident enough to maybe start singing in the shower, maybe singing in small groups, and perfecting my voice to really hit those keys and notes. Quite frankly, I don't know much about singing, but that's beyond the point. It's just a question of getting a bit more practice that would allow me to actually see that it is possible for me to sing. I see the same pattern. I used to always say I'm not a runner. I don't like running. Now I just started running more and I'm getting better at running. I still don't really like it, but it feels good for me and it gives me the health results I'm looking for. I hope you're seeing where I'm getting at, because if you feel like you need to learn how to get better at sales fast, here's the clue. Find a job in sales. Find an opportunity within an organization that you can feel good about the product. You know it exists and that it's actually fleshed out. They're all looking for salespeople. People are looking for others that are either doing high ticket sales or telephone sales or business development. And if you can find a reputable company that's looking for that kind of position, see if you can take on a part-time or, dare I say, a full-time role to go and perfect selling. Get to learn the systems they're using. Get trained by their system. You don't need to go buy sales trainings. Go work for a company that's developing their sales talent, and they will have access to training. You will have a sales manager that will help you learn how to be better at sales. You'll learn to work about a quota, how to work with a CRM. I say that this is one of the most essential skills that can allow you to create abundance in your life today. And if it's really blocking you from the success you want and the impact you want to make, I would suggest going deep, going strongly into a position that might feel uncomfortable, but I promise you this. Spend enough time doing it, and I think you might realize how easier it is than it seems, because you just need a little more practice. A lot of the successful people I know have all had types of sales opportunities, whether it's telephone sales, door-to-door sales, direct sales, whatever it is. Just learning this skill will bring you forward so much more. And I find that telephone sales is one of the fastest ways to do it. So any inside sales opportunity, whether that's booking appointments, whether that's going and closing, you find a space where you can make that happen under someone else's product, because there's so much anxiety that comes, an additional mental strain if you're trying to learn sales and feel confident about particularly your own new product. And so see if you can isolate the sales skill, develop it under the cost of another organization. Matter of fact, you'll be compensated for every successful sale. So that might accelerate your success much faster. And don't dread the possibility of getting back into an opportunity of a job. You might end up liking it, finding it quite lucrative, and find it quite satisfying and fulfilling at the same time. Because at the end of every sale, you make an impact in somebody's life. If you would be willing to do what it takes to be successful, and I tell you, getting good at sales is one of the fundamentals for a lot of the successful people in the world, I would tell you, do this little thing. Get yourself a sales job. See if you can do it for a month, 2 months, and then you might realize it's not as scary as it seems, and you'll be able to go back into doing it for your own organization, because it's the most expensive skill to outsource and the number one that you can learn to get more sales, attract employees, attract investors, and maybe attract other salespeople to sell on your behalf once you get to that point. And of course, every time you do sell, sell with love. Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.